A few months ago, I uploaded a video in which I cried.
Like when I was 9 years old.
Yes, now we've got a thumb that will crank in the views! The video is about how my brush with mortality in the form of having childhood cancer gave me this phobia of being forgotten, and how my current brain is still very much driven by that fear. And a lot of you wrote really nice comments on that video like, "No, Josh, we will always remember you because of your vlogs." Which is where it gets kind of meta, because isn't immortality the real goal of expressing myself through vlogs? Aren't I just trying to replicate myself by imprinting these videos on your memory so that some version of this body outlives me in your mind? But that kind of immortality doesn't really exist. I used to think it did. I used to think that a person could do things that were so great they would be remembered forever. But in 2012, I was in this audience at Tour de Nerdfighting, and John Green said something that changed my life. Might be the phrase I use most often on this channel. In his speech, John previewed some of the devastating themes in Tiffios. On disease, John said we all want to die for something, but most of us will die of something. As well as the false idea that all amputees are bad drivers. Those people hit me, alright? And the reality that eventually we will all be forgotten. Like, I appreciate the sentiment, but let me explain. Let's say this is the average lifespan. If we're being real here, for most people within 50 to 100 years of your death, there will not be a person alive on planet Earth who remembers the sound of your voice. But let's say you do something like maybe, I don't know, find a very small but extremely loyal YouTube audience, and that doubles the length of time in which people remember you. Maybe you write a book with devastating themes about mortality and amputee drivers, and that book sells 10 million copies and people read it for the next 500 years. But even then, watch what happens when we zoom out to 10,000 years of human history. From that perspective, no matter how many dramatic thumbnails of me crying I leave behind, my life and my vlogs and your life, and I dare say even John Green's, will be forgotten. See this even better if we zoom out to all of evolutionary. Son, I think you mean the theory of evolution? You might say, yeah, Augustus Waters might be forgotten in 500 years, but he was named as a clever literary device after Augustus Caesar, who will be remembered as long as humans are in existence. But even if that's true, eventually Homo sapiens will go extinct, evolve into something else, or the people and events of human history will be entirely erased, like in the Singularity. Where are my sci-fi fans at? I guess what I'm trying to say is nothing really matters, and we will all be forgotten. Can I help you guys? Hello, sir. I'm Agent Jones. This is Agent Smith. We're with the Motivational Speaker Police. Josh Sundquist, your motivational speaking license has been revoked. For what? Rewind timeline. Nothing really matters, and we will all be. Okay. Zoom out timeline. Nothing really matters. Right. The comment will eventually be forgotten. What comment? What are we doing here? What are any of us doing here? All of our motivational speaking police work will someday be forgotten. And yet there seems to be something hardwired into our brains to leave a legacy. That's an evolutionary instinct that motivates us to pass on our genes by having children who will outlive us. Really? 2 evolution references in a single video? At least he's finally talking about having children. But no matter how many times I tell myself that, no matter how many times I zoom out that timeline in my brain, there's still a battle in there between like Ari Gold and the Big Lebowski. Listen, Josh, analytics prove that thumbnails with a person crying get massive views. Dude, you will get so many likes. Dude. And internet fame doesn't matter. Didn't you see what happened to Vine? As soon as you can reach 1 million subscribers. Dude, were you not paying attention to John Green's speech? I'm talking YouTube Red movie deals, streaming nominations, maybe even one of those Audible.com sponsorships. Or you can just Netflix and chill. Trust me, just cry. It doesn't matter if it's fake. How was that? I will never forget that. Just do it once more for Snapchat and Instagram. I'm gonna go watch Gilmore Girls.